This week we're talking about home prices both here in Chicago and in some of the other top metros, so stay tuned. Welcome to another local market update with Rick Batista. Welcome to another weekly market update. How's your summer going? Can you believe it's already August 1st? Good thing Chicago weather's so predictable. I'm sure we don't have to worry about snow for at least a few more weeks. This week we're going to be taking a look at home prices both nationally and across some of the other top metro cities. If you're listening in Chicago, where do you see home prices going in your neck of the woods? If you're listening from outside of Chicagoland area, I'm curious to know if your neighborhood or town have seen prices going up, down, or staying flat. Be sure to leave a comment below. Next week we plan to go into mortgage rates, heavily into mortgage rates. This will be a video that you won't want to miss. Some of the sources we follow are showing projections that by the end of this year, 2023, there's a good chance we may be below 6%. And by the end of 2024, we may very well see rates under 5 and perhaps in the high 4s. We certainly don't have a crystal ball, but that's the talk around town. And we'll certainly have some data from solid and reputable resources and back up these projections. Be sure to watch next week. You know, with so many things going on with the economy right now, as well as in and around housing, I'm committed to bringing you weekly market updates because monthly just doesn't cut it. Before we get started, I want to let you know that this video discusses both national and local data. The local data we'll share in just a bit is for Chicago proper, the 77 areas, and although we do service all of Chicagoland, including the Burbs, later in this video we're only going to dive into the city's data. So let's get started with a fun fact, and we'll share some other info and insights with you before covering the city's numbers. Fun facts, market time. Home prices hit a new high in May, rising a seasonally adjusted 0.7% month over month according to the latest Black Knight Home Price Index, marking the fifth consecutive monthly price increase. The report found that 27% of the 50 largest markets have seen prices return to or exceed their 2022 peaks, with many of those markets located in the Midwest and Northeast. Although price gains remain weaker in the West and in areas that saw significant price gains during the pandemic. And to touch on that further, before I share some slides and talk about Chicago's numbers, I want you to be on the lookout for how home prices are being portrayed and or are going to be portrayed by some media outlets. I can't stress this enough. Deceleration or appreciation is not the same thing as depreciating home prices. Are home prices going down? Yes, in some parts of the country they are. Nationally, no. Are home prices appreciating? Yes, in some parts of the country they certainly are. However, they may not be appreciating with as much volatility as we've seen in the last couple of few years. Now let me share some slides and info to make sense of this. This first slide here is from Case-Shiller. I believe last week we showed the one that was through April, but as we mentioned in last week's video, they were coming out with May's numbers, and here we go. You can see here that last year when rates ended up spiking up, probably the biggest spike we've ever seen, the prices certainly went down after May when that hike took place. And they fell under. And they started to depreciate thereafter. As you see here, July through January, and for some reason, New Year, New You. A lot of open houses, a lot of showings just after the New Year. And home prices started to go up. And this is, again, looking at month-over-month percentage change in home values that are seasonally adjusted. And we can see steadily climbing from February through May. We'll certainly have to wait to see where June's numbers, and some of this data takes a while to calculate, so they don't have June's just yet, but I imagine in the next few weeks we'll be seeing that. This next slide, also Case-Shiller, year-over-year home price movement. This is looking at May 2023, year-over-year percentage appreciation in top 20 cities. Nationally, we are down by 0.5% year-over-year, with Seattle, Phoenix, and Las Vegas taking the biggest hits, followed by Portland, Denver, Dallas, and Los Angeles. Here in Chicago, you see that we're actually up 4.6%, well above the national average. Case-Shiller also took a look at month-over-month home price improvement. And this, again, May 2023, month-over-month percentage appreciation in top 20 cities. And nationally, we're at 0.7% in the black. Phoenix, a market that's been struggling a little bit lately, but that's because they saw huge increases during the pandemic. You go up too fast, sometimes you're bound to fall even harder, but not too bad still. Month over month, they're just down by 0.1%. All the other top metro cities, the other 19 metro cities, are in the black, even if it's just by a fraction. Here in Chicago, we're up by 1.4% month over month. This next slide here from Case-Shiller, looking at May 2023's number, it's comparing year-over-year changes, month over month changes, and changes since March of 2020. And although all these cities are in the red year over year, all but Phoenix are in the black for month over month changes. But take a look at the last chart here, those green cells. Since March of 2020, Dallas, Phoenix, and San Diego, and again, Phoenix being the top of the list there, not literally, but as far as their percentage-wise goes, their prices since March of 2020 were up over 50%. So certainly a little bit of wackiness going on. That's when a lot of things came to a halt and the pandemic really started to go in full swing here in the States with all the quarantines and stuff. But after that, prices shot up so much that even with year-over-year changes being in the red, going back to March 2020 and since then, the home prices are far higher. So year over year may not look too pretty, but I would say that overall homeowners in these areas are sitting pretty on equity for the most part. Not in everybody's case, obviously, but this next chart here shows how appreciation skyrocketed in the last 3 years, and we're looking at the top 20 cities. U.S. national average 41.8%, and some of the top ones here: 63.1% in Miami, Tampa 63.8%, Phoenix over 54%, San Diego over 52%, Dallas over 50%, and Charlotte over 54%. Everybody else with healthy increases right around 30% or higher. Chicago here, 33.5%. If you haven't been watching our videos recently, I've been saying this maybe not every week, but pretty frequently. If there was a bubble to burst, I don't think that is, it's just silliness. But if there was a bubble to burst, Chicago's not going to see that same craziness, because even though we were at 33.5% since March of 2020, we're below the national average. So did things go a little wacky here in Chicago? Yes, absolutely. Chicagoland, not just the city, but the suburbs as well. But it did not see the craze in some of these other metro cities. So I think we can have a little bit of peace of mind here, at least in the Chicago market, knowing that things are fairly normal right now. And yes, some sellers might want to have, crazy price increases as far as their home equity goes and stuff like that. But I think stability is something that could be a little bit more appreciated. This next slide here is from FHFA, and this data is through May as well, and just showing you that we've been seeing steady increases. April, May was flat. I'm sure that's off by a couple of fractions there. Okay. But since the beginning of the year, we've been seeing steady increases month over month as far as percent changes in home values. And of course, this is seasonally adjusted. Fannie Mae, all these resources may look at different data, but they are still showing the same things here. This is quarter over quarter percent change in home prices. And again, from Fannie Mae, seeing Q3 and Q4 of 2022, we're in the red, but Q1 and Q2 of this year above zero and increasing quarter over quarter. And here's an interesting slide from Kay Schiller. This is looking at the 48-year average versus the 2022-2023 price movement. And to describe that in greater detail, the average Case Schiller, and just so we can make sense of what this chart is showing, the black bar is the 48-year average, taking a look at 1973 to 2021. The orange bar is 2022, and the green bar signifies 2023. And so far this year, in January, we're certainly less than the other two categories. February saw a little bit of a tick up, but still less than the 48-year average. March, more than double the 48-year average, but less than 2022. To be expected, things were still going pretty well last year in the first couple of quarters. April, again, higher than 48-year average, but less than 2022. And May, same thing here. As far as the good news, we have been steadily increasing since the start of the year. And the to be expected news, certainly not surpassing 2022, but that's okay. That's not something that we should really be concerned with, because, again, things were a little bit crazy. So we certainly don't want to be compared to crazy, right? At least I don't. This next slide here, we were talking, and we've been talking about in several videos since the start of the year. Year and the next 12 months forecast. Everybody came out with their projections at the end of the year. And we can see here that MBA back in December 2023 forecasted that home prices were going to go down by 0.6%. Fannie Mae, again, December 2022 as well, down by 1.5%. Morgan Stanley, down by 4%. And the AEI Housing Center said down by 15 to 20%. Current forecasts, they kind of changed their mind a little bit. MBA saying no change at all, just flat growth. Fannie Mae up by 3.9%, so certainly a different tune there. Morgan Stanley also going with flat growth, and the AEI Housing Center up by 6%. That's a very, very, very drastic change. A couple of sources that have come out with their projections for the next 12 months. CoreLogic, and I believe they had said that this might actually change, but as of right now, they're looking at an increase over the next 12 months of 4.5%. And Zillow, love them or hate them, I won't tell you where I'm in the camp I'm in, but they're forecasting, and they were very optimistic, a 6.5% increase over the next 12 months. Now it's time to wake up for the moment you've all been waiting for. This information and data is provided by the Chicago Association of Realtors. It is current as of yesterday, July 31st, 2023, for a week ending July 22nd. From fun facts to quick facts, we're looking at year-over-year changes. New listings in the detached market saw a decrease of 26.5%, while the attached being condos and townhomes down by 21%. Under contract, Good to see these up in the positive zone. Detached up by 18.3% and attached up by 16.6%. Homes for sale detached down by 25.8% and attached down by 33.8%. And we've certainly seen that number change drastically over the last few months and even the weeks. In the detached market, attached has been pretty steady for a while, but we need more inventory, people. Unpacking those numbers a little bit more. New listings in the single-family detached market, we wrapped up the week of July 22nd with 357, 3-month average of 347, down by 24.7%. And the attached market, 513, 3-month average of 546, down by 29%. Under contract, the detached market we saw in the week ending July 22nd, 220 homes with a 3-month average of 195, down by 6.2%. And the attached market, 344, 3-month average of 317, down by 15.2%. And inventory of homes for sale, the week of July 22nd saw in the detached market 2,220 with a 3-month average of 2,203, down by 11.6% year over year. The attached market, 3,438, 3-month average of 3,312, down by 31.7%. year over year. So, what does all this information mean for you? Heck if I know. All depends on what's going on in your life and your household. Let's start a conversation and see how we can help you make the most informed decisions. If you'd like copies of any of the reports or slides we shared with you today, feel free to reach out. You can call, text, or email. My contact info is below. Remember, love and money may come and go, but time is something we never get back, so I appreciate and thank you for spending some of your time with me today. If you want to stay on top of the market with us, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And think of one person you believe might benefit from this information, and be sure to share it with them. Again, don't forget to watch next week's video where we'll be talking about mortgage rates, because that's the craze, mortgage rates and inventory. Hottest topics that we can discuss right now. As always, take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll catch you next time.